everybody. No, please, sit down. Sit down. They're all standing. You probably can't see that at home on the interweb, but they were going crazy for Luann.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
It's great to be here with Carson and this exciting book. How much do we love this book? Look at that.
Thank you. Yes.
It is so good. It is so filled with great tips.
There's some good info in there, and I wrote it mostly by myself. So,
You know what? I can feel that. When I read the book, I can totally feel like it's totally you.
No, let's tell the nice people where we met.
Oh, you want to tell that
story?
story?
Because you want to hear some insider stuff that you can't hear anywhere else. So let's take them back, Luann, to that magical day.
Yes.
We were talking about this in the hallway as we were walking in after we did our tasteful nudes. Our regular photos. But how did we meet?
Carson and I met on a plane from Los Angeles back to New York, and we were seated next to each other, and it was love at first sight. We had such a ball. We talked the whole time.
We did.
We talked the whole time.
Like, oh my
and
God,
drank.
Please don't talk to me. But then I was like, oh my God, it's Luann, and she had great boots on, and we bonded, and it was,
It was best, and we've been friends ever since. Carson's coming to my wedding, so I'm very happy about that. I'm excited.
Big news. Are you?
Big news.
Let's talk about that before we even get.
Let's
to the
talk
book.
first about the book.
Okay, let's talk about the book.
I want to know how you came up with the title. Have you been butt shamed?
No, I haven't been butt shamed. I am.
Does this book make my butt look big?
No.
Cheeky guide. You've never been butt shamed.
I've never been butt shamed.
No, you have the cutest butt.
I have a disappearing butt. I can't even grow it if I wanted to. It's just, people are like, you should do squats. I'm like, that's a lot of work. Next. But I wanted to come up with a fun title. And I've always, I take a lot of selfies in front of things. I'll be in front of a boat or a camel. I'm like, does this camel make my butt look big? So it's always been one of my taglines. But I wanted to start the tone of the book off as one that was comedic and light and not too serious, because when I was talking to women about the book and when I was making people over on my different TV shows, women were always saying they were super stressed in the morning about getting dressed. And I was like, oh my gosh, why? Women have the most amazing clothes ever. And there's so many choices, and there's great color and great pattern. So I wanted to take the stress out of it and make it a little bit lighter.
Well, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Because you have some great tips. One of my favorite in the book is about how to clean out your closet. I don't know about you guys, but I have a problem with that. And so I have a girlfriend,
Right.
when Carson's not here,
Right.
I have a girlfriend that helps me with that. But without her, it's really hard to get rid of things. So what are your top 3 tips for us?
Okay.
To get rid of the old and make room for the new.
Right. There's a thing in the book called the 10-step closet enema. And people are either chuckle or go, ew. I chuckled and then I went, ew. But you have to, when I was doing this show called How to Look Good Naked, we really drove this point home. If you get dressed in the morning and your closet is full of things that are either out of style or don't fit, a lot of people have oh, these are my skinny jeans, and oh, these are the jeans I'm wearing now, and these are the jeans I'm going to wear in 3 weeks. You shouldn't have those pieces in your closet. Your closet should only have the things that fit and flatter your body right now.
Yeah, but what about those things you spend a lot of money on?
I know.
I have things from Gucci and Pucci, and I just, hate to
don't wanna get rid of
give
them.
them away, right? And then when you do give it away, you see it on one of your friends, you're like, oh, damn, I gave that away too early.
I know. I had the same I always have this fear that I had these pants with monkeys all over them, and I was like, I'm never going to wear those again. And they're like, the new monkey exhibit is opening at the Miami Zoo. And I'm like, and it's black tie monkey. And I'm like, oh my God, I threw those away.
Yeah.
So I have that phobia that then I had a pair with parrots on them, and I'm like, I'm going to keep those.
That's so Palm Beach.
There might be something at Parrot Jungle. I'm going to need these. But it's that old rule, if you haven't worn it in 2 years, you're probably not going to.
Okay, tip number 1. If you haven't worn it in 2 years, out it goes.
Get rid of it. Only have things in your closet that fit and flatter your body now. It's great to want to lose weight. It's great to want to bulk up, whatever your plan is. But get rid of those things because they're only going to slow you down in the morning. And if you try to put something on that doesn't work, it's an immediate buzzkill. It's a big womp in the morning, and it affects your mood and how you feel about your body and your confidence. So get rid of the stuff that does not fit. The other thing is, make your closet amazing. If you can put wallpaper in there, if you can have great lighting, if you can make it smell good.
Chandelier.
People are like, oh, I live in New York. I keep my clothes in my oven. Me too. But if you can make a beautiful space, that helps too. And then, do that purge every so often. Have a friend, make margaritas, wear full makeup, try things on, Polaroid yourself. You're going to really see, you're going to be like, why did I keep that? And just, you're going to feel so great when you get rid of stuff. And there's a whole thing in the book, too, about consigning things. So
Yeah, that's
I had
great.
that same
That's
phobia
great.
where I was like, I spend a lot of money on these pants or these shoes. I don't really just want to like give them away. You can consign stuff.
Yeah,
And
or
there's
give it
so
to
many
charity.
sites.
Or give it to charity.
And give it away. There's great places here in New York like Angel Street Thrift Shop and Housing Works. So there's
Dress for Success.
Yeah, there's many places where you can really do good with the stuff that's no longer doing you any good. That sounded
Absolutely.
like a PSA.
Okay, now we've cleaned out our closet, right?
Right, now what do we do?
So now what do we do? What is the latest fall fashion thing must have
Okay.
that we must have?
Here's my theory. There's a section in the book called like the 25 must-have pieces. And there are these pieces that every woman needs. A great pair of jeans, a perfect white blouse, a fitted blazer. Those are the staples, and I call those the meat and potatoes of your wardrobe. You want to spend some decent money on those, especially like jeans, because we all live in them.
Right.
Find a pair that really works. If you find a great pair, maybe buy two. Get those basics. They're your meat and potatoes. And then you can have fun with the accessories, which are really your salt and pepper, your spices. And those are where you can buy them cheaply at H&M and at Zara and
Right.
Secondhand sites like The Real Real. I mean, New York City, there are so many great vintage stores. You can get great splashy pieces. That's the stuff that if you make a mistake, it didn't cost a lot of money, you're sick of it after one season, you can get rid of it.
Right, so basically you need to hang on to those staple pieces and then just accessorize to kind of update your look. The
like,
classics.
You're doing it. You have this great kind of like black jumper on, and you have fabulous jewelry.
Always the statement necklace.
Right, and that's your thing. Like,
my
you're
thing.
known for like a statement necklace, and you're the perfect example of something that, you're going to wear this a million different ways.
Exactly.
You could add a leopard clutch or a leopard shoe if you wanted to change it up.
Red shoes.
I love doing a contrasting shoe. I think that's great. You're talking about fall things that are really on trend. And I'm in the stores like every day. I'm like, some people go to the gym every day. I go to Bloomingdale's.
Do you go to the gym?
No, I go to Bloomingdale's and I walk and I walk up the escalator. That's my cardio. It's like turbo cardio. But things that I've been seeing a lot of, the jumpsuit is really huge. And I feel like I say that every season, but now it's everywhere. And
Now it's for real.
Yeah, it's for reals. It's happening. And it's a great alternative to the little black dress. I think like the little black jumpsuit is a great kind of young, fun, modern way of doing that look. I'm seeing maxi dresses in bold prints. There's a new Iris Apfel, who I love, has a collection for INC at Macy's, and I just saw that stuff, and it was so fun. And I'm like, it's so gratifying to see someone who's 90.
She's amazing.
Setting fashion trends. I'm like, you go, girl.
Go, girlfriend. So you don't work out. How
No.
unfair is this?
I don't really.
How unfair is this? Look at him.
I'm
So jealous.
I'm lucky, and I've been really naughty because I've been on this book tour, and I'm like, you get tired and grumpy, and I was like, I know what'll fix this: French fries. So I'm on the French fry diet, and so far it's working out. But like, things are getting tighter. Like, I was walking around my apartment, I was like, are my thighs rubbing together? And then I went and had a gluten-free Tate's chocolate chip cookie, and I was like, I'll be fine. It's gluten-free. I had it for breakfast. I did. I'm busy. I'm busy. They're so crispy and light. They've got to be good for you. I was like, put this in a bowl with milk, like cookies and
Oh my God.
cookies and
Cookies
cream
and
or
cream.
something. There was a breakfast cereal that was made entirely out of cookies in the 70s.
Yeah, with the chocolate chips, right?
Yeah. Sounds
remember
healthy to
that.
me.
I think it's still around. Don't they
Sign
still
me
have
up.
this cereal around?
It seems like it would be illegal by now, but I don't know.
It should be illegal.
I don't know.
So, what is your favorite kind of makeover? I mean, is it taking a Barbie and like scaling her down to be chic? Or is it the total disaster that you are trying to chic up? What's your favorite kind of makeover?
I love both of them. I first got introduced to the make under on Oprah, and she's like, oh, we need you to do this make under thing. I was like, I've never done that before, and she sent me to Calgary, Alberta, Canada in February. I was like, thank you very much, Oprah.
Oprah's like God, you go.
Yeah,
right?
I was
you're going.
and I had my big parka on. And I knocked on the door, and a living Fredericks of Hollywood, like, sex doll opened the door, and she was literally wearing, like, a latex onesie. And
Oh,
had,
my God.
like, 6-inch nails and, like, veneers that were like chiclets and tons of hair extensions. And it usually boils down to some psychological thing. And she didn't feel pretty when she was younger, and guys didn't think she was attractive. So she got implants, and then she got a lot of attention. And then she's like, well, if that's good, then I'll do this. And then she got hair extensions. And then she, got a
became
fake
addicted.
tan where she was orange. And then she got teeth that looked like chiclets. And then she got giant nails. And then she started wearing latex clothing. And
my God.
it was an addiction for her. And she was so gorgeous when we pared it all down. And it was like a shocking thing, like removing the nails and all the extensions. And but she looked so gorgeous. And I remember on that episode, she had kids, and they were embarrassed by her. And kids on the bus were, saying, "Oh, your mom's a MILF." And then Oprah during a break said, "What's a MILF?" And I was like, "Oh, this is awkward. I'm going to get back to you. I'm going to write it down because I can't say it." And so that's really gratifying, because the best part is when you remove all the stuff that you do because other people think you're supposed to do that or want you to do that, and you just become like your most beautiful self. And that usually comes from peeling things off. And then my other kind of favorite makeover is like somebody who I know has the potential to feel glamorous and gorgeous. And when I did that show, How to Look Good Naked, so many women have body issues, and they would think they're too tall, they're too skinny, they're too this, they're too that. And I would really try to teach them, and I talk about it in the book, you've got to maximize the things that you're proud of. Everybody's got something. I have a great clavicle. That's why I'm showing it off right now.
My next question was, what makes you feel sexy? So I guess it's your clavicle.
It's my clavicle. Yeah. Oh God, I'm getting. Is anyone else warm? But you really have to learn to maximize those positive things that you're proud of, that you feel are your best attributes, and then you downplay the things that you don't love. Everybody has something that they don't like as well, and it's about finding that balance. And we talk about that a lot in the book, because if you don't feel great about your body, you're not going to feel great about your body in clothes. You have to start, from the beginning.
With yourself. And I love that about the book also. It's great tips, but it's also about how dressing well and is good manners, really. Because
Exactly.
it's really about respect for yourself and respect for other people. So
Yeah, there's a whole.
I love manners. I'm all about good manners.
You are.
I do love good manners.
Etiquette. And there's a whole thing in there about Tom Ford, who's my, crush, and he's mentioned in the book like 5,000 times. I sent him a book. I'm like, "You're in the book. Do you want to come make out with me?" And I got no response.
No.
But Tom Ford has that great quote, like getting dressed in the morning and dressing well is a sign of good manners and caring
Respect.
about others.
Respect. So my son, unfortunately went to a funeral of my uncle, and my
Right.
son came out in black basketball sneakers. And I said, I know they're black, but
Right.
we're going to church, and it's a sign of respect to dress accordingly. And, I had to remind him
Right.
that you have to make an effort. I know you're comfortable in your sneakers, but you have to put on a proper shoe to go to church.
Right.
Right?
It's a respect thing, and it's about, honoring the people that you're spending time with. So that
Exactly.
totally makes sense.
Honoring God and people. So, where did you get your inspiration? When did Carson start knowing he had amazing style? And when did Carson say, I'm gonna dress people?
Right.
Tell me about your job at Ralph Lauren, because I know it started
Well,
there.
it started even before that. Like, even I have older brothers and sisters, and like my sister was like 17 and I was 7, and she was like, we were shopping for prom dresses, and of course we didn't have childcare, so I went along to the spinning wheel in Allentown to buy the dress, and she was trying them all. I'm like, you've got to go with the simple white column dress, and they're like, what? And then she was prom queen, and I'm like, you're welcome. So I've
was
always
prom queen?
She was.
Good job, honey.
Yeah. So I've always style has always like kind of been my thing. Like, I remember we built a new house in 1976, and my mom hired a decorator, and that sounded so fancy. And they're like, we're gonna do this and this. I'm like, no, we must do a swag and jabot. And they're like, you're 11. How do you know what a jabot is? I'm like, I read. So I've always been that annoying kid who was telling people what to wear. And then I moved to New York City, and I got a job working for Ralph Lauren. And it was like The Devil Wears Prada, except everyone was really nice and preppy. And I was Ralph's brother's assistant, Jerry Lauren, and I would get sardine sandwiches, and I would schedule appointments, and I got to meet everybody, and it was a great learning experience. And I really got a great education at Ralph Lauren about the finer points of style. And from Ralph himself, there's a quote in the book about accessories. The last thing you put on is the first thing people notice. He told me that one time. Another time, he told me something really important. Get me that sandwich. Stuff like that. So I learned a lot. But it was a great education, and I worked my way through the ranks there, and I learned about accessories and menswear and women's wear, and I styled a lot of the ads for our retailers, and I got to go to Milan and
That's
do
amazing.
Fashion Week.
Love Milan.
And one time it was really funny because, when you work for Ralph Lauren, I don't know if you saw the episode of Friends. No, because you're like way younger than me. But everyone, when you work for Ralph Lauren, you kind of, you live the life. And I was coming home from the fashion show in Milan, and was fully Ralphed out. Like I had and
Fully
it looked
Ralphed out.
very Ralph. I had linen pants on, they were chocolate, and then I had a cashmere sweater that was chocolate, and then I had chocolate velvet slippers that had a big R and L on them. And then I'm getting on the plane, and I'm like, oh, I wonder who I'm sitting next to, and it was Calvin Klein.
Oh,
And I
God.
was just like, oh, excuse
Fabulous.
me, pardon me, oh, excuse me. And then I sat down, and he looked at me, and he was like, and I was like, you hate me, don't you? Have a nice flight, try to linguine. But he was nice. I charmed him eventually. But there's kind of polar opposites, like the simplicity of Ralph Lauren, of Calvin Klein,
Right.
and the heritage of Ralph Lauren. It was quite a yin and yang. It did not go as well as our plane ride.
No.
No.
Nothing as good as our. It was
No,
our
it was
plane ride.
magic.
So would you say Ralph Lauren was like one of your biggest inspirations in
Yeah,
terms
I mean,
of fashion and being around?
I think that, he's an inspiration in many ways. I mean, what a businessman. I mean, he was the first person that said, style permeates every aspect of your life. It's not how you dress, it's how you live. And it could be the dishes you eat off of, to the shoes that you wear, to the wallpaper on your walls. I mean, that's a genius, branding moment in history that went so well. But I learned so much there. I learned about quality. I learned about fit. I learned about detail. And even if it's not your aesthetic, and it was my aesthetic, and it still is very much a part of me, there's a great appreciation for someone that has such a great eye for great taste. I mean, everything that you see that Ralph Lauren puts out is done in great taste.
Exactly.
So I learned a lot about a taste level there.
Well, and I think you also have the background of being an equestrian, and I think
I do.
when you think equestrian, you kind of automatically think of
Right.
Ralph Lauren, right?
Well, that's kind of why I wanted to work there. I was like, I kind of already have the clothes, so
Right.
and I have a horse, so I think I
Right.
should get a job. And literally, during my job interview, I got the job there. Here's a great career story. I came to New York City in 1991, and I had a liberal arts degree, which I loved, from Gettysburg College, but I had no real marketable skills, but I could write a fabulous essay. And a friend of mine was working for this nonprofit. She was going to have a baby. She said, take my job. I'm like, thank you, nepotism. I will. I moved into the city. And then after doing 2 years of nonprofit work, I was like, I would really love some money to buy some shoes. So I set out, I made a list of places, and it was Calvin Klein, Ralph Lauren, places I thought I liked the culture and it'd be cool to work for. And serendipitously, I was at the gym where I don't work out, but I did go there in the early mid-'90s to meet attractive men. And I had on black watch plaid track pants, and I had the Ralph Lauren sweatshirt that had the teddy bear holding the basketball. I had that on, and then I had the actual basketball, which I got from buying fragments at
cute.
Bloomingdale's. And I was just like, hey, what's your name? And they're like, get away, freak. And I was wandering around. This woman said, who are you? And I said, oh, my name's Carson. And she said, you're like a walking Ralph Lauren billboard. I said, I know. I love that brand. She's like, you should work there. I said, right. And she said, I'm a headhunter. I'll get you in. So I got in, and I had the interview, and I said, I think I kind of get the whole thing. And I realized that it's, I don't think I had coined this term yet, but merchantainment, which is it's more than just selling clothes. It's like selling a lifestyle, and it's kind of entertaining. So I said, it's kind of like theater, and I'm really good at that, so you should hire me. And then miraculously, they did. And I was like, oh
That
my
fateful
God.
day.
I'm getting a job there. And it was really fantastic and quite influential in my life.
Oh, I can imagine. And that's how you, isn't that how you got on Queer Eye? Is that?
Yeah,
Ralph Lauren did?
I was, by that time I had gone up through the ranks at Ralph Lauren and I was styling a lot of their ads for all of their department store clients. So if Macy's was shooting a Ralph Lauren ad, I would go there and be like the fashion police and be like, no, 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 don't use that. Use this golden retriever. Step away from the snowflake sweater. Use this one. So I was doing that, and then my producer who booked the models and the photographer said, oh, I was riding to work in the cab, and I heard about this show called Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. It's on Bravo. And I'm like, what's Bravo, a nonstick cooking spray? Because back then, they, only aired old operas. And I called them. They were in Jericho, Long Island. And they said,
Is that
no.
right? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they weren't even in New York City. And they said, no, the production company's from Boston. You have to call them. So I called them, and they're like, oh, we're casting the show in New York. And do you have a headshot? I'm like, no, but I have a picture of me in a snowflake sweater with a husky. And
I want that picture.
I sent it to them, and they said, come on down. And they showed us a tape of a bunch of different straight guys, and all the other people trying out were like, I think it's really important that we embrace both the gay and straight communities. And they were really PC, and I was like, listen, this guy's pretty hot. Can we just get him in some flat front khakis and call it a day? And they're like, okay, we like you. And then we made a pilot in 2002, and it was in Boston, and I remember making it and being like, we're going to be famous, everybody. Look over here. And but really in the inside thinking, this is never going to happen, and I'll just go back to Ralph Lauren, and my boss was super cool, and I was just using vacation days. And then in 2003, they said, we're going to series. And I was just like, oh, my God, do you guys have dental insurance? Which they don't. And that was that. So that was my foray from fashion into television.
And you put Bravo on the map, basically. And you won an Emmy. What is that like?
Right?
I
it
mean,
was really
on.
crazy.
Give it up. I mean, that's amazing.
It was
from Ralph Lauren to an Emmy. I mean,
thank you.
That is inspirational, and it's unbelievable.
It was truly something I never dreamed of. Like I thought of winning with a world championship with my horse or something, but it wasn't even something in my realm of imagination that I would have a primetime Emmy. And I have it at home, and people are like, you have an Emmy? I'm like, I know.
Good things happen to good
anybody.
people. Good things happen to good people.
Yeah, thank you.
That's amazing. And so, so not all, Queer Eye.
You're really good at this interviewing stuff.
Thank you. I should have my own show,
we should
right?
have our own show together.
Call Bravo, somebody.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just, it's so easy being with Carson. He's such a great friend.
Thank you.
And I adore you. Now I lost my train of thought.
That's
I was just going really good. Okay.
I know when we're just shooting the breeze.
But you've done so many shows now. I mean, so you've done Dancing with the Stars, which is phenomenal. You've done, what else have you done? Wait, I've got a list.
You have your cards.
I've got my card. Hold on.
I'm
Dancing
take
with
a
the
drink
Stars.
of this
RuPaul. RuPaul. How much do we love RuPaul? My niece Nicole is the biggest fan of RuPaul. She said, if you don't go on that show, I will never forgive you. Just do it for me. She's like, do it for me. It's so fun. Hint, Carson, hint.
I'm going to get you on there.
Yes, that's what I wanted to hear.
It was great when I was like, my mom's like, now what are you working on? I'm like, I'm doing RuPaul's Drag Race. She's like, are you a contestant? And I was like, no. But Drag Race All Stars has been a super great season. The finale is tonight on VH1
Oh my God!
and Logo.
All right.
And RuPaul was here. I interviewed him when he did his AOL build in the spring, and he just won an Emmy for Best Host. For Drag Race. So it's been.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think drag is so fun because it combines all the things that I love. It's fashion. And we've had the most amazing guest judges: Mark Jacobs, Jeremy Scott.
Yeah.
Everybody who's just loves coming on the show. And it's comedy, it's fashion, it's fun, it's uplifting. I mean, the judges ultimately want these contestants to do really well and be successful. And they become, legendary, and they work all over the place, and they become big stars. So it's really fun to be a part of it, and it doesn't feel like a job.
Right.
And sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting paid. Score.
Yeah, amazing.
It's good times.
And now Carson's going to be on The Apprentice with Arnold Schwarzenegger as the host.
Not a tumor.
Does he say, you're terminated? Does he say that?
You know what? I have no idea.
You don't?
We don't know how.
Am I not supposed to know that?
They won't let us say anything about the show.
Hell.
And we don't even know because they've kept it all a secret. But he was a really fantastic host, and I think he's going to be a great addition to the show. And
What's he like? What's Arnold Schwarzenegger like?
well, I thought he would be real scary, but I found him to be quite warm and cuddly. And what I didn't know about him is that he is such an entrepreneur, and before he made his first movie, he became a millionaire from real estate, and he came to this country in like 1967 from Austria.
It wasn't the bodybuilding?
With like no money. I think he made money on bodybuilding endorsements. I'm so into that world, obviously.
You know all about it.
But he's been a real entrepreneur and been very successful, and I think people will see a different side of him on the show.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing that. In fact, I'm sorry I missed that ride, but I was filming for my show. But hopefully next.
Right.
I would. So, what else can I ask you? I've got a lot of questions.
You can ask me, or we can ask audience.
Do we want the audience? Audience, would you like to ask Carson a question?
Let's do questions from the audience. That's always fun.
Okay.
Hey, Carson.
Hi.
So you mentioned parrot pants in Palm Beach, and I want to know what you'd pack for a New Year's trip to Florida.
Oh, what I would pack for a New Year's trip to Florida. Where are you going in Florida?
Aren't you going to Florida for New
Yes.
Year's?
I'm going to Florida. Oh, is it what I'm going to pack?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It depends where I go, but I keep it pretty simple when I pack. I would do a navy blue blazer because that, will take you anywhere in Florida. My walker. No, I'm kidding. I would do some white jeans like these. Go everywhere, and I think they're pretty seasonless, like Michael Kors. I would pack a lightweight cashmere sweater because it makes a good pillow on the plane. And like when you're on a plane, it's usually like literally 47 degrees. So I wear that as one of my layers. I always pack a great little swimsuit, usually like a not a long board short because it makes my legs look short. I do something that's a little bit shorter that most straight men are like, oh my God. Like if you're like, I'm like, you should get a shorter like suit. And they're like, no, my junk might fall out. I'm like, yeah, you wish. But like guys, like straight guys love like board shorts that come down to here. I like ones that like come down to here like a 1950s like rock.
I love that look.
Length. Some aviator sunglasses, a good loafer, and that usually does it. A couple like knit polo shirts or something and some shorts. I like to wear a lot of color when I'm in Florida. Because it's such an escape from New York in the winter, and we're also like dreary, and it's been sleeting and 41, that I like to pop on like mango, orange, and like lime green. And some fun little belts, and that's it. I can live like in a little tiny suitcase for like almost a week.
Yeah, I'm like you, but it's you have to be gifted.
Oh,
you have to be gifted. You have to, right? It's
You
so
have
hard
to-
to pack. You not take too many things.
Yeah, there's a great thing in the book about like a thing about cleaning out your closet, like live out of your suitcase for 2 weeks and put all your favorite items in your big suitcase, and I guarantee you can go everywhere and do everything that you need to do with just the items in your suitcase. And
That's such a great tip.
We have so many things that we have a wealth of options, and sometimes that's actually a problem. It's better to work with less and have kind of a uniform, and you'll really be shocked that you could live that way and dress beautifully with just the items in a suitcase for 2 weeks.
Yeah, because
But
if
it
you bring
works.
too much stuff, you're in the same conundrum. It's like, what do I wear? Still, you're
Exactly.
like, what do I wear?
And when I pack for a trip, I like write down everything I'm doing. Like I'm doing this event, I'm doing that event, I'm shooting this thing, I'm going here, and I only bring exactly what I'm wearing. I don't bring a lot of extras because there's no time to make choices.
That's why you're the expert.
And thank you. And I hate paying for extra baggage. It's so annoying. I'm like, what? $75? I could have bought more shoes with that. Okay, so next question.
Before we move on, we have another question, or go ahead.
Hi, Carson. Hi, Luann.
Hi.
Thanks for
Hi.
being here. You guys look fabulous.
Thank you.
Carson, this question is about when Queer Eye came out in
Yes.
2003. It was kind of a big deal because there wasn't a lot of queer representation on television.
Right.
You had shows like Will and Grace, Queer as Folk, but they were fictional characters.
Yes.
So you broke a lot of barriers. What was that like? What was that experience like for you?
Okay, so when I was a kid, there were no gay people on television. We only had the Skipper and Gilligan, and I was like, I think something's going on with the two of them. I know they have two hammocks, but this doesn't make sense. But in all seriousness, yes, there was starting to be a presence of gay people on television, and they were mostly fictional characters, like Will and Grace. I do remember, and I have to give credit to MTV on The Real World, had Pedro Zamora, and he was this most amazing person. he was so brave. So that was kind of the start of it all. And then we did our show, and quite honestly, we never really thought like, oh, we're gonna make like kind of a political thing, and we're gonna like change people's attitudes. I just wanted to get people in flat front khakis, you know. But that wound up being a very subversive kind of way of bringing LGBT inclusion and equality and rights to the forefront, because it was kind of like being out. And October 11th, a couple days ago, was National Coming Out Day. And people are always saying, well, why is it so important to be out? Well, being out is really important because people that maybe never knew a gay person would say, oh, well, my son is gay, so I care about his health, safety, well-being, his equality. My sister came out, oh, I care about, I know somebody who's gay, I care about them. So that's kind of what the show did. Some people, would say, I never knew a gay person. And I was like, you never got your hair highlighted? What? I'm being funny. But the show allowed people, it was a very intimate medium. We were in their living rooms, in their bedrooms. And for a lot of people, we were the first gay people they knew for real. And they're like, wow, you're really cool. You know what you're doing. You're fun. You're funny. You're helping people out. And I think that kind of grassroots kind of being in people's lives is sometimes more impactful than holding a sign saying, we demand this or that. So it was subversive in that way. While we were doing it, we weren't even thinking that. And I'm just, the best thing, for me in my career is when like a young person who's like 20 now is like, I used to watch your show and I was 9 and I was really afraid to tell my parents that I think I might be gay, and they loved your show and were laughing, and I felt safe because of it, and I was allowed to have a dialogue, and you helped me come out. And I'm like, okay, I don't have feelings, but I might cry. So that's great.
That's awesome.
So thank you for the question.
That's awesome. We had one more question.
Hi, Carlson. Thank you for being here. I have 2 questions, actually.
Okay.
The first one is, what trend do you think is overrated?
Okay.
And my second question is, what is a frequent red carpet mistake that you see?
Oh, a frequent red carpet mistake. I think this is a mistake that follows people in every walk of life. And you'll see it more noticeably on red carpets. If things don't fit properly, like if someone's having like a wardrobe malfunction on a red carpet, I want to just like go over there and mess up their stylist's hair and be like, you've ruined the world. Because fit is so important, and I talk about it in the book as well. Like, you can buy the most expensive, beautiful gown, and if it's gaping at the bust line, or if the hem is too short and we're seeing the wrong part of your leg or the shoe, it's not going to look great. So fit is crucial, and it's not always about, the right fit is crucial up and down. Like, it shouldn't be too big and it shouldn't be too small. And when you wear the thing that fits you beautifully, it's always going to look more expensive. You're going to look more sophisticated. It's going to give you extra confidence. So fit is like huge. And then what's the trend that I'm not into? I think it's probably a man's trend, and it's the pants with the dropped crotches. And I'm like, are you smuggling a family in there? What's going? It's not cute. It doesn't make for cute rear view viewing. So that would be my trend I don't like.
Oh, so I guess we have to wrap it up.
Oh, so
no.
soon?
I was going to ask you what your biggest faux pas. Did you ever
Oh, mine. I will tell it really
mess up?
quickly.
Because he's so perfect.
I talk about it in the book. Sometimes when you go to like these Emmy gifting suites, they give you all kinds of like cosmetic products, and I don't really know that much about them. But they had this cream that claimed to erase wrinkles, and they put it on your hand, and it really did. It was white, but then it eventually blended in, and it filled all the holes in, and I think it had silicone, and it looked amazing. So I was like, I'm going to wear this. And I went to a big party in New York. I think it was Bette Midler's Halloween. And I put it around my eyes, and it seemed like it was a great idea. I was like, oh, my God, it's gotten rid of all of my crow's feet. This is great. And then I go to the red carpet, and I do the thing, and everything's great. And then I come into the party, and everybody at the party is like this. Looking at me, I'm like, what? And then a friend came in and was like, your eyes are glowing like a radioactive raccoon that escaped Chernobyl. And the lighting in the room was like that purpley, like, wedding lighting.
Oh, my God.
And the stuff was glowing. And I had 2, like, glowing raccoon eyes. And it wouldn't wash off, and I actually had to leave. So the moral of the story is, try those new products at home first.
Well, listen, we got to wrap it up, but thank you, Carson. Congratulations on the book.
Thank you,
all
Luann,
coming.
for being here. Thank
It's been
you.
awesome.
We really appreciate it.
And good luck with the book. I know it's going to do great because it is so full of great tips. So you guys Gotta grab that.
Thank you. And follow Luann on social media at,
Oh my God, he's plugging my social media.
Yep.
I love it. At Countess Luann.
and you can follow me at Carson Kressley. If you have questions that we didn't get to, I'll answer them on Twitter or on my AOL.
Perfect.
That's how I roll.
Perfect. Thank you, honey.